I'd like to welcome the audience to the May 17th Parish Planning and Zoning Board meeting. Would you all please stand while Coach Williams says the invocation, Pledge of Allegiance.
Our dear Lord, we thank you for another blessed opportunity to serve on this board. We thank thee for this board and this staff. We ask thy blessing upon all. And we ask a special prayer for those who have come tonight seeking some help from this board. Let the Holy Spirit guide us and lead us that we might do that which is pleasing in our sight. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation
under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. George, would you please call the roll?
Chair David Connor.
Here.
Vice Chair Jake Forte.
Here.
Mr. LaSalle Williams.
Here.
Mr. Frank Webb.
Here.
Mr. John Duhon.
Here.
Mr. Whit Baker.
Here.
Mr. Gary Navarre.
Here.
Miss Betty Brown.
Here.
Mr. Elijah Gilry.
Here.
Miss Latricia Cobb. And Mr. Ray Taylor Absent.
Thank you. This is an 11-member board. It will take a majority of those members present to grant or deny any request heard tonight. The meeting will be conducted with me reading the request on the agenda. After a motion to approve and a second is received, the planning staff will clarify the request and report their recommendations. If the applicant would like to add to the staff's recommendation or clarifications, or if someone from the audience has comments, please come to the microphone and state your name, address, and nature of your request. All persons wishing to speak other than the applicant will need to fill out a blue request to appear form in the back of the room. Recommend that a spokesperson be selected, and we're not going to worry about that tonight because we don't have too many folks here. But in general, we're going to try to limit applicants to 5 minutes, or we reserve the right to limit applicants to 5 minutes. After discussion, the board will vote on each request. I will announce the decision of the board after the vote. The zoning variance case is final tonight. The rezoning cases will be presented to the police jury on the May 19th, 2011 meeting for final approval. This meeting will be taped by the Calcasieu Parish Government Channel and can be viewed on Wednesdays and Thursdays following the meeting. For run dates, check the website at www.cppj.net. That'll be on Channel 5 in Lake Charles and Sulphur, Channel 61 in Moss Bluff, Westlake, Vinton, and DeQuincy, Channel 99 in Carless and Grand Lake. If you'll turn off your cell phone pagers, we'll start get our agenda going. Item number 5, take appropriate action on case VA 04-008-11, a request by Dwayne Aucoin for a zoning variance to allow a second dwelling on one lot. This is a guest house at 3396 Street, St. Raphael in Ward 4. Can I have a motion with stipulations?
Motion for approval.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Duhon, second by, who do we have over here?
Baker.
Mr. Baker. Ms. Wallace.
This property is located in the North Sulphur area and encompasses 1.3 acres of R2 zone property. The petitioner does intend to build a 20 by 30 foot guest house, which will also be used as a pool house. And currently on the property, the petitioner has his own house, a barn, greenhouses, and a chicken coop. And according to our zoning ordinance, we consider a guest house to be a second dwelling. So the petitioner would have to have 2 acres, according to our ordinance, to have 2 dwellings. Since he does not have that required property, he will need a zoning variance to proceed. The staff recommends that the request be granted with the stipulation that the development adhere to the site plan on file.
Thank you. Comments by the applicant? No one here? Questions or comments by the board? Have a motion for approval. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Stipulation.
Motion passes. Item number 6, take appropriate action on case RZ 08-003-11, a request by Darrell and Deborah McCauley to rezone from A1 agricultural to C2 general commercial to allow commercial development, a Dollar General store on Highway 3059 in Ward 8. Can I get a motion with stipulations?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Cobb, second by Mr. Gilry. Ms. Wallace.
This property is located in the LeBlue settlement area and encompasses 1.11 acres. The petitioners would like to sell this property to a developer that would like to build a 9,100 square foot brick and metal building for a retail business, and that retail business will be a Dollar General store. The development will have concrete parking and driveways. There'll be 30 parking spaces, and there'll be only one entrance off of Highway 3059. And to do this, the petitioners have to rezone the property from A1 to C2 to allow the development. The staff recommends that the request be granted with the stipulations that the development adhere to the site plan on file, and that the Director of Planning and Development be authorized to make adjustments in light of any technical or engineering considerations discovered during the development, that all parking and driveways be hard surfaced, that the dumpster be placed in a 6-foot fence containment area, that a landscape plan be submitted and approved by the division, and that the landscaping is installed prior to an occupational license being issued for the store, and that the development must comply with the Calcasieu Parish Stormwater Ordinance.
Thank you, Ms. Wallace. Comments by the applicant? Are you coming up, ma'am? Okay, no. Go ahead, sir. State your name and address, please, for the record.
I'm Kirk Farrelly. I'm with the engineers who are working with the development. And I just wanted to find out more about stipulation
Your address,
number
please, sir.
4.
If you state your address, please.
Sure. We're at 3608 18th Street in Metairie, Louisiana.
Thank you. Go ahead.
And I wanted to find out more about stipulation number 4 about the landscape plan, just some of the general requirements for that.
Okay, Ms. Wallace.
Well, the landscape plan is just something basic that will help screen and
Sure.
improve the aesthetics of the area. And we'd just like for you to submit what your ideas are, and
Okay.
we can negotiate something that.
Will it need to be stamped by a landscape architect or just the engineer?
Mr. Crane is our Assistant Director of Development, and he would actually be the person that would approve the plans.
Okay.
If you have a general plan, that's fine. We can look at it, and review it, make sure it meets all the requirements.
Okay.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay, anything else?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Questions or comments by the board? Have a motion for approval. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Item number 7, take appropriate action on RZ 03-004-11, a request by Preston and Katie Richard to amend ordinance number 3490 to expand an existing manufactured home park from 5 manufactured home spaces to 8 manufactured home spaces, and develop a 14 recreational vehicle space, which would give us a total of 22 spaces at 7896 Nelson Road in Ward 3. Ms. Wallace.
I'm sorry, did you receive a motion?
Oh, I'm sorry. I did not get my motion. Motion for approval with stipulations. Ms. Cobb, second. By Mr. Porsche. Go ahead.
All righty. This property is located in South Lake Charles and encompasses 4.93 acres of RMHP manufactured home park zone property. And the petitioners purchased this property earlier this year and would like to expand the number of units that are within the park and create a recreational vehicle park. Right now, there's 4 existing manufactured homes and a house on the property, and the petitioners plan to reside in that house as soon as the work is done to expand the park. The development would consist of the following: 8 manufactured home spaces, 14 recreational vehicle spaces, a community sewer system, a centralized mailbox, and a 20 by 24 bathhouse. And just to give you a little history on this property, it was approved to be rezoned by the Planning Commission and the police jury back in 1993. And at the time, the board stipulated that 16,000 square feet had to be provided per mobile home unit. So that allowed 5 spaces, according to that rezoning. In May of 2005, the petitioner, at that time the previous owner, came back before the Planning and Zoning Board and the police jury and asked to remove that stipulation so that he could expand the park from 5 manufactured home spaces to 21 spaces. And that request was denied by both the Planning and Zoning Board and the police jury. So now the petitioner who has purchased the property recently would like to have that stipulation removed and expand the park to 8 manufactured home spaces total and 14 RV spaces. The staff recommends that the request be granted with a number of stipulations. We'd like the development to adhere to the site plan on file. We'd like for the manufactured homes to be skirted prior to any utilities being connected, that a centralized mailbox be installed, that the drives and parking areas must be hard surfaced, that dumpsters be surrounded by a 6-foot wood privacy fence, and similar to the last case, that a landscaping plan be submitted and approved by the division, and that the landscaping be installed prior to issuance of an occupational license. And we would like to give the petitioners the option of utilizing a 6-foot wood privacy fence if they would prefer to do so in lieu of landscaping. And that would be installed on the north 238 feet of the east property line, excluding the entrances. And that's pretty much it.
Thank you. Any comments by the applicant? If you'll come forward. I want to remind the audience, if you do want to speak and you filled out a blue card, please bring that up to staff, please. Your name and address, please.
I'm Preston Richard. I reside at 7896 Nelson Road. My wife and I are wanting to do this development. We will adhere to all the stipulations that the Planning and Zoning Committee has. It will be paved road in there. All the RV sites will be on concrete pads. The area is overgrown. We're going to clean all the underbrush and clean it all up. It'll be more of a family park, actually, and we'll have open spaces. We don't have tight spaces for RVs. There'll be a lot of room. Each space will be almost 83 feet long with 20 foot of grass out in front of each concrete pad. We have a commercial sewer unit, which I've talked to the health department, of course, and the commercial sewer unit will do away with all these small sewers that are on the property, and they can be cleaned up that way also. And I believe everything on the fence, we will put the fence that was recommended, plus we're going to landscape the outside of the fence to give it a pleasing appearance. My wife and I, we're getting ready to retire, and we don't want any, it's not going to be a trailer park with transmissions in the driveway is what I'm trying to say. It will be a nice development. I think it'll be a benefit to the area and clean it up quite a bit. And we plan on putting whatever money it takes into it. It'll be just the development of the park will be between $300,000 and $400,000. So thank you.
Okay. Questions or comments of the applicant, please? Yeah, I'm sorry. Excuse me, Coach Williams.
Answer this one. In a project of this magnitude, on a health report, don't we supposed to get a copy of that with the health department requested before we make a decision?
The staff usually gets that. I believe we do have one in the file. Mr. Kopic has corrected me. I believe in the past they have issued those, but their policies have changed at the health unit, so they don't issue letters in advance. But this gentleman is agreeing to be in compliance with the regulations, and our past experience tells us that it will be a community sewer system that they approve.
Harper and Associates is doing the engineering on the sewer system in connection with Murphy Cormier.
Okay. Any other questions of the applicant? Okay. Yeah, we may call you back up, sir. I have Mr. Brett Travis, if you'll come forward, please.
How are we doing?
State your name and address, please.
My name is Brett Travis. Myself and my wife and a son live on 1848 South Bend Road, which is the north border, northwest corner of the current trailer park that's there now.
Okay. Any comments, sir?
Okay. I've lived there for about 3 years, and I know that the new owners just took over. Can I ask how long they've owned it?
You can address the board.
Okay. Can y'all tell me how long that the new owners have owned?
Do we know the length of ownership?
April of 2011.
April 2011.
Okay, so in April. The current concerns that we have now, the trailer park has been an eyesore for a long time. It's got very old trailers that in the past have appeared to be, should have been condemned if you ask me. I'm actually a state trooper. I live right, I worked with the state police in 12 years. And since we've moved in there, the complaints with the sheriff's office and myself have been very wide ranged. I don't have the numbers. I tried to get some today, but the computers were down a little bit. The only thing they could tell me was they've had over 65 calls in that vicinity, but they couldn't give me the exact address. Don't have the paperwork to back that up yet now, but I can try to get that paperwork if you need it. Just as recently as last week, one of the neighbors complained that someone was in the trailer park next to their fence, which is their south border, smoking marijuana. Now, I'm not sure what this gentleman is doing to clean that up, but from what we've seen so far, and I'm not sure if it's him or some of the residents, but they're still smelling of raw sewage on the ground. Skirting and that kind of thing has never been an issue as far as them completing it or doing it. There's always banging. They had a fencing company there before, and all hours of the night they were banging on stuff. The children in that trailer park actually come around through the woods into our neighborhood, which is the road adjacent to it. And most of the time with a state police car there, it's corrected some of that. But some of the neighbors don't like their kids to even get close to the woods, especially if they hear somebody out there. A lot of times I hear kids or people, actually adults, they'll walk through the woods, go back there and start shooting guns. And I do what I can. I'll call the sheriff's office or I'll try to correct it. And most of the time, the first time, it's just, let's go talk about it. Okay, let's not do that anymore. It's not safe. The next time, I'll call the sheriff's office, let them handle their business. The biggest concern we have about them expanding it is right now, most people would not want to live there. And we've had 3 houses sold in the last year. Actually, probably a little bit less than a year, but we'll say last year. And I personally have had a lot of people come talk to me about these houses, and the only concern they have is the trailer park. And the realtors have discussed it with us and said we could get another $20,000 if the trailer park didn't look like, a rat hole, I guess, But I'm not sure what this gentleman's doing to clean it up. But so far, since we've seen it, nothing's been done that's been obvious. So I guess that's all my concerns, unless you have questions about it. We have a couple neighbors with us that can probably back up some of that. Miss Gay Caldwell lives on the south side, and she's the one who originally notified us of this hearing, because I never even knew this was happening. And unfortunately, she had something with her kids, and she's probably not going to make it in time because it's moving pretty fast. But she's complained of sewage being moved, either it's run off into her property. Now, I'm not sure where it's coming from, but if y'all do approve this, the health concerns are health is the biggest concern for me, because if you go bring a health inspector and inspect all this and they approve it and they inspect it and they come up to in compliance, you're not going to have as many complaints. But it's pretty bad right now.
Okay. Questions for the Mr. Travis? Go ahead, Mr. Baker.
The trailer park he's talking about there next to South Bend subdivision, I suppose, is that trailer park there is not in the question tonight, huh?
Well, if you're talking about the
Above the yellow.
by north at that trailer park there, and then there's a residence.
Yes,
that's correct.
Where he lives.
Right.
Is the trailer park next to?
It's the one within the yellow box, which is a separate trailer park.
Well, that's the one we're talking about tonight, right?
Separate trailer. That's right.
Does Mr. Richard own the other trailer park?
No, sir, I do not. I was planning.
Mr. Richard, just a minute. Just a minute. You've had your chance. We'll call you back up. We need you.
So,
can you answer that question?
Mr. Richard's not going to be able to solve your problem. That's
Okay.
someone else.
Well, then the only other concern is moving something in here that's because, and unfortunately, if it's not his fault, but the trailer park, moving an RV park in there as well with houses that have already been diminished with property value because of the trailer park, and then moving an RV park in there on top of it, we feel like it's going to further reduce our property values, and we can't take much more damage.
Any other questions of the applicant? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Travis.
Thank you, sir.
Any other comments? Yes, sir, Mr. Duhan.
How long has that trailer park, the one next door, been there? Do we know that answer to that?
OJ's to the north.
Yeah, to the north of the.
I really can't tell you. I can tell by our records that it was there prior to 2005, and I believe, if my memory serves me correctly, even earlier than that. It's been there for a while.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments, questions for the board?
I'm sorry, I just found the answer to that question.
Go ahead.
The OJ manufactured home park was approved in 1980.
1980, okay, thank you.
Ms. Wallace, can you maybe give a brief explanation about the concerns he brought up about the sewer and what goes on in a permitting process so that they'll understand what's going to happen here if this gets approved?
Well, in this situation, we would have to be presented with the letter that Coach Williams alluded to regarding health unit approval. And that approval is only going to come after the health unit has reviewed the plans and specifications on what would be built. And then after it's built, we would be notified by the health department if it didn't meet those plans and specifications. But it would have to be built appropriately before they would get any final power or final plumbing approvals and things like that.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? I do want to make I'm sorry, go ahead, Ms. Cobb.
One question I had for the Mr. Richard is, he going to put an age limit on his trailers that he's going to put in the trailer park?
I'm unsure of that. I believe he would have to answer that.
Mr. Richard, do you want to come up and answer that question? You state your question again, please, Ms. Cobb.
Are you going to put an age limit on the trailers that you're going to allow in the trailer park?
Yes, ma'am. There's a 10-year age limit on all RVs that will come in there. I'm not talking small campers. I'm talking about $250,000 units. You know, I own an RV myself, and if you keep them up 10 years, most people that use them, they're going to trade them in and get another one. As for the gentleman's concern on the property north of me, I don't know who the owner is there. I've been looking along the fence line there, and I talked to a contractor about coming up and put a wooden fence along that property line. I know I'll have to get an approval for that, but I'm not going to run something that is like that. I mean, I'm a pretty fastidious guy, and everything that I do, I know most people here don't know me, but is there any other questions about, I mean, there's not going to be any wild parties. And like I say, it's going to be more of a family-oriented campground. We'll have a fishing area that's stocked, a playground, and livestock shows. We have a lot of people friends of ours that attend livestock shows, and they'll be parking there. We have a lot of people from all over the country, really, that'll be coming down to South Louisiana where they can hit the Creole Nature Trail. It's right close. They can go fishing. I have friends in New York that would love to come down here and come fishing. But any other questions?
Mr. Gary?
Yes.
Is this a weekend, kind of like Samuel Jones State Park, or is this somewhere where people are going to park their RVs and stay there?
A lot of them will come in for a weekend. Some may stay a month on the RVs. The mobile homes that are in there, I will own most of them. My sons, they'll be renting most of them out, and it'll probably be some guys coming here to work for Shaw on these nuclear modules. I've been in construction all my life. I know most of these people, but you can ask anybody that knows me. I don't put up with any bull or foul language. I wasn't brought up that way, and I don't believe in it.
Okay. Mr. Porcher?
Heard a complaint that, you know, you've owned it since April, and yet nothing's been done to clean up.
No, sir, that was not my property. We've already done quite a bit of cleanup in there.
Okay.
I've had Ave Maria come in and re-level the house on the property. They're currently redoing the master bedroom and bath. soon as we can get, I don't want to start any major renovations to the property until we get approval where I can clean it up. I have contractors lined up right now for everything.
Any other questions, Mr. Richard? Yes, Ms. Brown.
Did you say you were going to live on the property?
Yes, ma'am. My wife and I are right there.
Okay, I'd understood.
We're getting close to retirement age, and we just want a place we can kind of kick back and sit on the patio and have, cook a steak or two.
Okay, all right.
Anybody else? Any questions or comments? Thank you, Mr. Richard.
Thank you.
Unless the board has questions for you, you've had your chance to speak. I do want to clarify one thing whenever comments concerning the law enforcement issues. This board, this body will be making recommendations on proper land use. If you've got some sort of code violations or law enforcement violations, that is for another body than us. So anyway, other comments, questions? I have a motion for approval. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Let's do a roll call, please. What's our numbers here?
No.
Are we even? I'm sorry.
You can't vote.
No, I'll abstain.
Mr. Forshee?
Yes.
Ms. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Baker?
Yes.
Mr. Navarre?
Yes.
Mr. Williams?
No.
Ms. Cobb?
Yes.
Mr. Webb?
Yes.
Mr. Duhan?
No.
And Mr. Gilreath?
No.
7 for and 2 against.
Motion passes.
3 against.
7 for, 3 against. That's official vote. I'm sorry, no.
Mr. Gilreath, you said no?
I said no.
And that is yes, I'm sorry. 6 for and 3 against.
6 for and 3 against. Motion passes. Next item on the agenda, number 8, receive a report from staff about the Uniform Development Code. Ms. Wallace.
All right. Well, I'm excited to be able to speak to y'all about this tonight. Y'all should have all received this novel that the staff has composed for y'all. Y'all should have gotten that a couple weeks ago, and I just wanted to update you and tell you a little bit about what we're doing. I know that we've mentioned it some time ago, so just to refresh everybody's memory. A couple years ago, the staff kicked off the Vision Calcasieu process, and as part of that process, we realized that we needed to update our codes and consolidate them into a more user-friendly document. And the staff, with the blessing of the Planning and Zoning Board and the police jury, wound up deferring action on the Vision Calcasieu plan so that we could start working on the codes and show people how a future plan would be implemented. And after months and months of hard work by the staff, we do have this document to present to everybody. We actually have kicked off a public review period. Our first meeting was last night, and the police jury appointed a 15-member panel of citizens that represent different areas of expertise. We've got an architect on there, some builders, some real estate agents, some general citizens, just to give us some input on the document. And we will, as a matter of fact, post that meeting to our website so that all of you can view it at your convenience and just catch up on what we have going on. But just to tell you something about the document, as I said, it's something that's going to consolidate all of our ordinances. And I went through and I counted. This is our existing code, just to show you. These are all the laws that the police jury has passed over the years. And all of the green tabs are those ordinances that relate to development. So when a developer comes to town, and if we just handed him the book and said, this tells you how to do it, I think it would be pretty tough for that person to navigate through everything without the help of the staff. So we've taken all of these codes, and when I counted, I realized we did 19 ordinances, and we consolidated them into this one book. So that's why it's taken us so long to get it done. That's why the book is so thick. And a lot of the document is not new information. It's just old information that may have been paraphrased, or things have been changed in the consolidation, and we made a lot of things more consistent with the titles of our staff members. But we did propose some new concepts, and you should have all received a document that looks like this. It has 12 key components, key changes that are included in the document. Just To be brief tonight, I won't go through all of them, but I would ask for you to go ahead and look at that meeting when it is posted online so you can get more detail. And we do believe that by doing these changes that the document, the ordinances overall become more flexible and actually can help developers and citizens that want to do things with their own property and hopefully release some of the government control that people really aren't interested in having more of these days. The next meeting for the Public Review Committee is going to be May 31st. All of our meetings are held at Preon Lake Park from 5:30 to 7:30. And at that May 31st meeting, we're going to determine our steps forward. We'll probably have a number of additional meetings, and we're trying to go through this step by step to explain to people what's going on. And I really want to encourage you all to participate. If you can make it to the meetings, we would love to have you, because obviously the more you see this, the more you'll be able to understand what we're trying to do, instead of us presenting it to you at the end of the process and saying, here guys, can you pass this? So we really want to have you involved from the start. And we've also asked the police jurors to do the same thing. We hope to have the document to you sometime before the end of the year for adoption. So we're taking our time trying to get all the input we can. We're going to refine the document before we bring it to you for action, and hopefully answer any questions you have in the process. And that's all I have for tonight. If you have any questions about it, just let me know.
Will your staff be calling to remind us about the meeting?
We can certainly do that.
I'll make a few comments, and maybe we'll throw it out for some more questions. This new document here, Jennifer showed you the old document. This is not a new document added on top of the old document. This actually consolidates and replaces these 19 ordinances down to one. The first ordinance that was goes back to 1974. So back before our time, these ordinances were passed, and I think these ordinances probably at the time were the right thing to do at the right time. But a lot of things have changed in this parish. So every once in a while, I think it's incumbent upon the staff. I think it's incumbent upon us to look and review to see if things are not getting outdated. And when the time comes to consolidate, I think that's what we're doing now. This, I think, is a necessary step for us to be able to make decisions in this board. We're going to be the primary users of this document, this body right here. For us to have a consolidated document with ordinances that hopefully for us will make better sense, will be a lot more user friendly for us to. I kind of feel like a lot of times we deal in gray area in these decisions, and we have to make decisions based on what we know of the ordinance and the law. It's difficult sometimes to try to understand with these 19 different ordinances. To give you a little history, and some of you guys may know this, and we're here back in those days, but this used to be a planning commission and a zoning board of adjustment, I think was the name of it?
Board of Zoning Adjustment, yes.
Board of Zoning Adjustment, which has kind of two functions, and now we're combined into a planning and zoning board. So our primary function in these meetings is the zoning component of what used to be the board. We also have a planning component, which is what we're doing right now. It is incumbent upon us to make a decision eventually about planning for the future. So we are involved. The decision makers on this particular document will be this board of 11 and the 15 police jurors. So, this is given to you, and she said she hopes you read it. I don't consider this to be a voluntary read. I think we're getting paid up here, and I'm saying it on camera so the citizens know we get paid to come do this. And I think this should be a mandatory read by each of us. We need to get into this document. We need to understand it. If we, there are going to be things, and I've begun reading it, and it can be cumbersome to read. But if you're doing what we're doing, it needs to be something that you're already interested in and want to know. But the idea of opposing this thing, we're in that position right now, or in that time period right now, to give input to the staff on what kind of changes or what kind of components of this we don't necessarily like or we want to change. And that's what this process with the task force will be, process with the public input, our input, who more should know than us about what might work better for this parish than us. So I think it is incumbent on us to give input, to get a document that we can all work with. It's not going to be a perfect document. It's not going to satisfy everybody, but it's something that we can work with. I think to oppose this based on the lack of knowledge is just not acceptable. If you don't understand it, don't know it, I guess probably my thought is defer to those who do know. And so as we continue this process, I hope we all have dug in and understand what we're actually voting on. Let's see. Truthfully, one day, I hope to see a unanimous vote in favor of a document that we can all live with come out of this body and move on to the police jury. If you don't like something, say it now. If you want changes made, say it now. Give it to the staff and make those changes happen so that when the time comes we vote, we have all had our input. And I can tell you, based on Vision Calcasieu, those changes, when we did give input, were made. And Vision Calcasieu started a certain way, and it was a different document by the time it came. These are the laws. These are the ordinances that we will be using from here forward. Not 19 ordinances, but one. So that's my encouragement for us to participate, for us to get involved and have a say on what happens in the future. Yes, Ms. Wallace.
Mr. Chairman.
Ms. Wallace, just a minute. Go ahead.
I just want to say how much I appreciate what you're saying, and you have stressed the importance of involvement early on, and everything is up for discussion in this document. Even if it's been on the books since 1974, it's up for discussion, it's up for amending. I mean, this is prime time for the board, the police jurors, the citizens to all get in there and make this into a document that is really functional and is what we need for the future of Calcasieu Parish. So thank you for
Would
your
you
time.
maybe comment about the red print versus black print and something about that? Because you talked about that a little bit last night.
Well, I had mentioned it a little bit earlier. Some of the red text in there, all of the changes are in red text. And some of those changes, like I said, are consolidations. In our existing ordinances, we had 3 landscape ordinances, all divided up in different places. So within the UDC, we consolidated those. So it's going to be black strike-through text and then red text. So it appears like it's a change, even though it was already in the ordinance. So just because it's red doesn't mean that it's new. Another thing is where we did consistency for the titles. And just for example, in the stormwater ordinance, I believe that it referenced the stormwater manager as having authority to make decisions. We changed all of that to director. And in the definition section, it says that the director means the director or designee. So it just made that consistent, but it's noted as red text, even though it doesn't really change any procedures. And in some cases, we just paraphrase things, moved words around, so there's red text signifying that. So that's why you really have to rely on this guide to tell you what the new things are. Because if it's not in here, then it's probably not some new concept.
Coach Williams?
She has them out. I decline.
Gotcha. Okay. Also, I do want to add that these meetings are going to be coming up. They have been posted, but I think there's going to be a little bit of an adjustment in how the schedule goes. I was a little bit disappointed that 5 of the 26 voters, is that right? There was 5 of us. 5 of the 26 voters were there last night. We're the guys going to have to decide on this, and we weren't there. So what the staff is going to do is take these meetings that are videoed, and they're going to be sending these meetings to you in a link, hopefully that you can view on the website, right? Yeah. And so you'll at least be able to watch what happens in these meetings. The task force is going to be discussing the details along the way. So, and the same thing's going to happen with the police jurors. They're going to get copies of it. Go ahead.
Just one more thing. As far as the meeting last night, I just want to clarify that the Planning and Zoning Board members didn't receive a formal invitation. I believe that some of our folks knew about the meeting, but
okay.
I
that'll be
just want to
from here
say
forward.
that until tonight, they haven't received a formal invitation.
Okay.
But hopefully May 31st, everybody will be there.
As I look across the room, I see several board members that were on this board when a lot of these ordinances were designed and made and amended and changed right here. So a lot of these ordinances were made right here by some of these people right here in this room. So a lot of this is not new to them.
Right. And so who better to weigh in on it? I agree with you. Rochelle, you had something? Okay. Any other comments? Can I get a motion to receive the report? Moved by Mr. Williams, Coach Williams, and second by Mr. Gilroy. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Okay. Next item on the agenda is to advise that the next regular scheduled Planning and Zoning Board meeting will be held on Tuesday, June 21st, 2011, in the Police Jury Meeting Room at 5:30, and I'll entertain a motion for adjournment. Motion to adjourn, and second, and we are adjourned.